In this video, we're going to cover what I think are the most important aspects of this lunar eclipse, and then I'm going to go sign by sign to tell you what I see for you for this eclipse and over the course of the next 6 months. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to Daily-Horoscope. You know, this is a relatively new app that's just growing like crazy. It brings together videos, podcasts, and predictions to help you with your career, your relationships, and your future. Check out Daily-Horoscope. The link is in the description box below. Now, don't be surprised that the lunar eclipse falls on a full moon. Lunar eclipses always fall on a full moon. Lunar eclipses are when the sun, which represents our sense of self, and the moon, which represents what we need and our emotions, become blocked by the earth, which represents our daily lives and all the things that we have to do. And so basically, when we're trying to do things like relate with other people, move forward in our career, just do the things that we really want to do, what happens is that our daily lives, the earth, basically gets in the way. Now, the effects of an eclipse are felt very strongly in the week before and the week following, but they can go on for at least 6 months. And of course, in 6 months, we will have yet another lunar eclipse, or sometimes even 2. During this period, you can utilize the energy to make changes in your life, and that helps you grow. Lunar eclipses especially can help you look at what your priorities are and why you're doing what you're doing to see if you shouldn't be doing things in a different way. Now, this particular eclipse is at 0 degrees of Leo. This means that if you are born near the cusp of any sign, you are particularly affected by this eclipse. So if you are born on the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd of any month, you are particularly affected by this eclipse. But certainly if you are a late degree Cancer or early degree Leo, then of course you are extremely affected by this eclipse. And that means that you have more opportunities as well as more challenges during this period. Now, the other things that are quite interesting about this chart is we have Venus conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius. Now, Venus is what we want. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, so this is about expansion. And so there is a lot of desire for whatever it is that we want. We really want what we want. And for those of you who have studied a little astrology, you might see that the lunar eclipse point of Moon at 0 Leo is making a sesquiquadrate to the Venus-Jupiter. And this means that we can get some unexpected or even life-changing experiences. Now, this is not necessarily negative. This can be like a new job opportunity, a new revelation in relationship. But one thing about eclipses is that oftentimes they don't feel so good going into the eclipse, but when we come out of the eclipse, we're so happy that we had the experience. We are ready to take on the world. Now, another thing that stands out for me in this eclipse is Mercury is at 25 Capricorn and the South Node is at 26 Capricorn. This conjunction is very tight, and so the Mercury on the South Node indicates that some sort of communication from our past may be happening. This can be that somebody from your past is coming back, maybe wanting to try a relationship opportunity again. It may be that you sent out a resume long ago and nothing came of it, but now something comes across your desk as an opportunity. It is also a temptation to fall back into past habits, especially anything around communication. So if you were trying to limit your social media or your television watching or your video game playing, you may find yourself sliding back into an old habit. Now, it's interesting too, Pluto is right there at 21 Capricorn, and so it's quite close with this conjunction, not as exact as the Mercury South Node, but because Pluto is so close, It does give a more intense quality that says to us, do not slip back into old patterns. Do continue to move forward with your life, because forward is the direction you really want to go. Another thing that I find is very interesting is Neptune is doing an exact square with Venus. Neptune is our planet of having a vision. It's about psychic ability, but it's also can be that sense of a fog. When you're in a fog, how the world seems to be different. It looks different. And there'll be so many areas that you can't see that feel mysterious or even frightening. And then in a moment, you might step into an area where it's perfectly clear and where you can see again. And this is squaring Venus, which is our planet, as I said before, of what we want. And so it's very important during this period of time to do the spiritual things for manifesting what it is you want. And that would be do your vision board, say your affirmations, do your meditations, do your prayer work, light your candles, because whatever you do spiritually, you are sending out that message. If you don't do these things, you can be enveloped in the fog, and this can put you in a fearful state. Now, another aspect that we are experiencing along with that Neptune-Venus is Mars is at 13 Aries. And so it is making the semi-sextile to Neptune and the trine to the Jupiter-Venus. Now, when we see Venus and Jupiter trining Mars, we know that we're very good at taking action. And though it can feel like it's almost too easy, like why even bother? But it is still very important. And when we take the action, then we find that we have all kinds of benefits that happen. So the overall energy of this chart is don't fall into some bad habits that you've had before. Be cautious if you're getting some opportunity from the past. Make sure that you negotiate the best job for yourself, even if this thing has been something you've been waiting for, or if somebody is coming back into your life, be a little cautious going back into that relationship, because there was some difficulty in the past and that may not have been solved. But on the plus sides, this is a great opportunity to do your spiritual work and make great gains on your goals and on the path to your goals by doing that. So do prayer, do meditation. You can make a better spiritual connection and you can make more headway on practical goals during this period because of the Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, Mars connection. Okay, so let's take a quick rundown of each sign and what they can expect on this full moon / lunar eclipse. And so starting with Aries, you guys are taking this eclipse hit in the area of children and risk-taking and creativity. And so it's very, very important that you are taking risks. These, of course, are calculated risks. I don't want you jumping off a cliff or something, but this is a good time to call up your boss and tell them, yes, you'll run the meeting, or to reach out to an important client and offer them your services. This could be that time to ask out that special someone, or to take your creative work and put it out into the world. This is also a very good time around children and fertility. If you are looking to expand the family, this is time to take action. And this action would be actions maybe that you hadn't done in the past. Maybe these are brand new actions that you're taking. You could be expanding the family too in some way through somebody else in your family. Maybe your kids are having kids. Maybe you're getting a new pet. Maybe you are in a relationship with someone who has kids and you're taking that relationship to the next level. Let's move on to Taurus, and you guys are doing the lunar eclipse in the area of home, family, and foundations. And this means that You may be doing something around your home that's very important. Perhaps you're decluttering, maybe you're renovating. It's possible that you're moving at this time. Maybe you are not wanting to move, and so what I would recommend, because you have some moving energy there, is to do some redecorating, move the furniture around. Perhaps you do have somebody who's moving into the house or moving out of the house. In addition, this is about your family, not just the family you live with, but your extended family. This is a time to reach out to them and connect to them, but not to do same old patterns that you've done before, not to get into same old arguments you've done before, but to break some new ground. Maybe you have to be the person who starts a conversation with somebody you haven't talked to in a while, a family member you're estranged to, or perhaps it is time for you to look at somebody in your family in a different light, maybe from an understanding light, or maybe one where you need to have stronger boundaries. For those of you who are Gemini, you are doing this eclipse hit in the area of communication and education. Also, this is around neighbors and your neighborhood. And so what this eclipse is for you, especially you guys who are Geminis, is to stop the negative self-talk. If you've had a bad habit with this, it's really time for you to change that. And you do have the power to change that. You do have the power to say, you know what, maybe these thoughts come up without me, saying I'm going to have negative thoughts today. Maybe they just arise in my brain, but I'm the one that's choosing to dwell on them. I'm the one that's choosing to say, okay, well, what could be even worse than this, rather than looking at what is actually happening in my life and looking at my life with gratitude. This is also in your area of neighborhoods and also transportation. So you might be getting a new vehicle during the next 6-month period. You do need to perhaps look at the health and well-being of your vehicle. Maybe it needs some maintenance, and that might need to be done sooner than later. In your neighborhood, you want to look around and see if things are changing in your neighborhood. If you're having difficulties with the neighbor, you may want to see if you can mend fences so that nothing legal ends up happening. This is a good time too to look into some education, especially something that is a self-study program rather than a full-on university. For those of you who are Cancer natives, you are doing this eclipse in your house of money, the stuff you own, and also your self-esteem. This means that whatever your source of income is, you're being challenged right now because you have opportunities to increase that income. But you can, of course, like everybody, just say, I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to catch up on my Netflix queue. Don't do that. Instead, really go out and challenge yourself to get those opportunities by making calls. And when you're home, doing visualization, doing prayer work, doing candle work, to get opportunities happening for you. This is also in your area of self-esteem. Sometimes self-esteem issues come because of stress from the past. That's true. But sometimes we keep the self-esteem issues because they make a convenient reason for not moving forward. And don't let that be what's happening here. If you feel that, oh, you're not good enough to do something, well, maybe what you need then is more practice. Maybe you need to find a trusted friend to sit down with and say, help me do this. Or maybe you need to go online and learn more about it. Instead of saying, well, I can't do this, maybe say, I can't do this yet. In addition, this is about your possessions, and so it may be time to declutter. You can easily sell off stuff during this period, excess stuff that you don't need. It's time to let go of past items, even if you considered them sentimental. Now, of course, for you Leo natives, this is a Leo lunar eclipse. This is the last Leo eclipse of the whole series, which means you're not going to get another Leo eclipse for 9 years. So you get to have this energy now, which is rather life-changing, but you've had it now for about 1.5 years. So this is the tail end of that energy. And so this is nothing that you haven't experienced over the last 18 months. You know this energy well. This is just one last opportunity for you to make changes for yourself in the area of confidence and relationships to allow you to move forward better. This is your perfect opportunity to look with a critical eye at the people in your life, the people you hang out with, and say, who is encouraging me to go forward and who is holding me back? And if there are people who are holding you back, whether they're family members or not, maybe to set up some personal boundaries so that you are not blocked by another person. Because if anything, Leo wants to be in charge of their own life. But if you're trying to please them, if you're trying to make it up to them, if you're trying to pay them back for something, maybe you need to find a different way than holding yourself back. For those of you who are Virgo, you're doing this eclipse in the area of hidden talents and psychic ability. This is a time where you really want to focus your energies on increasing your spiritual life, maybe incorporating some rituals into your life. Maybe you want to go to church every Sunday, or maybe you want to sit down and meditate every morning, or maybe you're going to combine meditation with your yoga practice. Maybe it's time to start journaling or do your vision board. Maybe you need to be doing affirmations, or maybe some modality like hypnotherapy. All of these things would work with this eclipse placement to help you move forward. Now, this is also about looking at what your hidden talents are, and how you do that is you try new things. When you go out into the world, if you can try new things, then you can find out, 1, if you like it, 2, if you're interested in pursuing it further. And that combination of liking something and being interested in it is how we define a hidden talent, because at that point, all you need is practice, and you can be amazing at it. Now we're going to look at Libra, and Libra, you're doing this eclipse hit in the house of friendships and your future. And this is a time where you do want to be expanding your friendships. That is, maybe you are reaching out to old friends, but the focus right now is to make new friends and to expand your circle. This also is in the area of groups and organizations, so maybe you want to join a professional organization, or maybe you want to become more involved in the organization that you're in. Maybe you're going to get voted into taking some board position or getting more involved that way. Look at how you can take an organization that you believe in, perhaps a charitable organization, and move it forward. This is also about your future, and so this is a really good time to take a look at what the next 6 months are about, and even your future beyond that. Maybe write down your goals, maybe read over those goals daily so you can keep those in mind. For those of you who are Scorpio, you are doing the eclipse hit in your area of career and reputation. This means that you want to be a little careful about what you're posting online. You may have very strong opinions about things, but as you look for a job or as you go out into the world, your social media does follow you. And so you want to keep in mind that maybe posting pictures of a drunk party you went to or something like that won't be very helpful for your career in the future. The news for your career is that there are many opportunities coming up for you. This means you could have a new job opportunity or get transferred to a new team. Maybe you're getting new offices, your boss might be changing, or there might be personnel changes in the office. But there is a sense that things are changing. And this is a good time to think about where you would like to be in your future, rather than trying to stay where you are, but look at where you can post your resume or what industry you would like to investigate to see what kind of jobs will be there in the future. For those of you who are Sagittarius, you are doing this eclipse hit in your area of education and spirituality, also in your area of travel. And so if you're planning some trips, this is a very good time to go over those plans, make sure everything is straight. If you are making travel plans, you probably want to leave in some flexibility, even though that might cost a little bit more money, as plans do change sometimes. If you're in school, this is a time to reconnect with why you're there, why you're studying so hard. Instead of just going through the motions, look at study methods of how you can be better at this. Go online on YouTube and find videos of how to get better grades with less work. And then also making connections there at school so that you can expand that circle of people who, when you're out of school, can still be part of your life. For those of you who are Capricorn, you are doing the area of investments, resources from other people, and also power. And so when it comes to power, how we define that in this particular placement is the power to choose what you want to do and when you want to do it. And so moving your life towards having more and more power of say over what you do and what your schedule is and what kind of work you do and where you get to live, all of this is very important and usually takes a long time to get to be in a really great position for. But this is a creative eclipse, so maybe there are some creative solutions for you. Now, this is also about your investments, and so this is a time where you want to take a look at your investments. You can't just leave your investments on autopilot. You need to get in there, maybe meet with your broker, or if you do your investments yourself, to take a look at your investments and ask yourself, would I buy this investment again at this price? If not, maybe you need to look at whether you want to continue with this investment or take the profits and run. Now, this is also resources from other people. If you're looking for funding, if you're looking for maybe help with technology or things like that, you have more access to this sort of help right now, but you do need to ask. And sometimes Capricorn doesn't like to ask. They like to do it all themselves. So this is a time to ask for help. You will get it. For those of you who are Aquarius, you're doing the eclipse hit in the area of relationships and partnerships. This means if you're looking for love, you have a better chance of finding it now. This means that you need to go out there and meet new people. If you're doing online dating, make sure that your profile is active and that you're answering people. Look around at other ways of meeting people, maybe through meetup groups, going to hiking groups, going to the gym, going to church, and being out in the world with this confidence that you have that you know who you are and you want to get to know who they are, and then you will see if you're a match, rather than, going out in the world and saying, oh, I hope somebody picks me, please pick me. Instead, say, look, I'm a fully formed person and I want to meet another fully formed person. This is also about partnerships, and so this could be business partnerships, so you could connect with another person to get a business started, or maybe you want to do a collaboration to help both of your businesses, or maybe you're looking for sponsors for your creative content. This is a good time to reach out to people. And then we get to Pisces, and you guys are doing this eclipse hit in the area of work and health and your daily routines. And when it comes to daily routines, of course, we've been talking about this already. Don't slip into past old bad habits, but this is a very good time to establish new, healthy daily routines. And because it's in the house of health, if you tweak your diet and exercise programs now, you can maintain this. And that's really great because there's momentum behind this. So look for perhaps maybe adding more vegetables into your diet, or maybe adding a little bit of exercise every day, because even a little bit, even increasing the amount of exercise you do by 1% every day would be so much more by the end of a month, and absolutely a complete turnaround in 6 months. And this is also about your work, and so there may be changes at your job, maybe less affecting you directly, but more around you, which then has some sort of residual effect on you. Perhaps somebody is leaving and then part of their work lands on your desk, or maybe there are changes in the office causing you to change desks, or maybe there's changes in procedures or something you need to learn. But all of this is going to be good, because remember that after the eclipse, and once this energy has settled down, everybody says to me, I am so happy this happened. But usually while they're going through it, they're not so happy, but afterwards they are so happy. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about astrology or feng shui, leave them in the comments below. I do answer the comments. And then also, my new book, Chinese Astrology 2019, Year of the Earth Pig, is available on Amazon. If you've already gotten my book, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. If you have a moment, please leave a review of it on Amazon. That helps me out so much. And I'll see you in the next video.